In business news tonight, the main indices of the Colombo Stock Exchange continued its upward trend at the closing of trading today, with the benchmark all-share price index and the Milanka price index gaining close to 2%. This month alone, the all-share price index has increased by 597 points, an increase of 11.5%. However, experts who have witnessed this scenario many a time question whether the current bull run is based on sound market fundamentals.
Barbarians at the CSE.
The Colombo Bourse resumed its ascent yesterday, with the all-share price index gaining 1.38% and the Milanka price index gaining 1.7%. Today, the all-share price index gained 1.92%, while the more liquid Milanka price index gained 2.9% at close of trading. A similar scenario was witnessed mid-last year, when the all-share price index climbed to 7,816 and the Milanka price index to 7,327. However, as many predicted, the bubble burst and the CSE nosedived, leaving in its wake many small-time investors in financial ruin. The carnage was such that the ASPI crashed by 1,742 points, while the Milanka shed a whopping 2,098 points. Is history repeating 1 year later? This is the question on the minds of many analysts and investors today. What makes the market so suddenly, only to come down to earth with a thud? Recently, Tilak Karnaratne, the former chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, the regulatory authority of the Colombo Stock Exchange, explained.
This is the ASPI performance from 1985 to August 2012. June, it to be exact, somewhere in 2nd June 2009, it was here. And then within almost a year and a quarter, this was around 1,400 level. It went up to 7,800. It's such a steep increase we have not seen in any other bourse, any other market. The euphoria was there, it is true. After the war victory, people were very confident about the future, and more retail investors came into the market. That's a fact. But it was not the major contributor. The major contributor was the people who came into the market with almost nothing and using unfair means pumping up the market to reach extremely high levels.
The two former chairpersons of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Indrani Sugdadasa and Tilak Karnaratne, who attempted to regulate the market with the intention of curbing this erratic behavior, ended up having to tender their resignations. Following the most recent resignation, that of Karnaratne, a new chairman, Nalaka Godaheva, was appointed to the SEC. The appointment has seen an almost magical resurrection at the Colombo Stock Exchange, with media reports indicating that the stock exchange has been ranked amongst the top exchanges in the world for its performance over the past 4 weeks. We asked Dr. Harsha De Silva about this phenomena, its repercussions and possible impact on investors.
What we are seeing in the market is what we saw about a year ago. Useless shares are going up in price. I'm not saying some of the blue chips are going up in price. That's also happening. But essentially, there are penny stocks, useless shares being, the price being driven up by members of the mafia. Essentially, A buys from B at say 20 rupees, then B buys again from A at 30 rupees, then again A buys from B at 40 rupees and so on. So what is happening is a small parcel of shares being transferred among a small group of people. But the outside, the small investor is thinking, look, this price is going up. So he's in the expectation of making a lot of money down the road, is buying into these shares. So this is still in the pumping stage. This is the pumping. What happens is, at a certain point, when the price has reached what the mafia expects it to, then they will start selling. So that is the dumping stage, which hasn't still happened. When that happens, the small investors will be stuck with a large amount of shares that has no real value.
If there are allegations of market manipulation, should the rule of law reign supreme and justice be allowed to take its natural course, like in the rest of the country, or is the stock market above the law? Chandra Jayaratna, the former chairman of the Chamber of Commerce, had this to say.
The rule of law is justice and fairness and transparency. These are critical elements that a governance of a country must have. It impacts equally on the stock exchange, and if these four factors are not present, and very especially in the stock exchange where transactions relate to accounts which are presented, if they are not transparent, if they are not professional, if the people who stand behind those transactions are not fit and proper persons, you cannot build confidence in a market. If there have been any malpractices of the past which have not been handled and which will not be handled professionally, with independence and with openness in the future, people will lose further confidence. The lack of confidence will be a death knell to this country's future development, facilitated through the investments generated out of a stock exchange.
We have to look at this problem beyond the Securities and Exchange Commission. The days gone by, if a village criminal was either about to be caught or was caught, politicians will influence the OIC of the police station, and the OIC might get transferred to some difficult station, and the crook will remain free. And there are multiple examples of that happening even amongst politicians in the last few years. So one has to look at the SEC and what is happening in the SEC in the larger frame of the breakdown of law and order and democracy.
An article that appeared in the Island newspaper today perhaps encapsulates the going-ons at the CSE in its final paragraph.
The way forward, they also say, is for reconciliation. In other words, there is no need for a criminal justice system, laws or regulations. Criminals can now opt for reconciliation to avoid justice. The whole idea is laughable. Criminals don't belong around a reconciliation table, they belong in jail.
Join us again tomorrow on Barbarians at the CSE as we continue our investigations into the Colombo Stock Exchange.
Barbarians at the CSE.
On Sports First tonight, we start off with some cricket news. Sri Lanka defeated the West Indies by 9 wickets in their first practice match at the NCC grounds today.
With Austen opting to field first, a tight bowling performance saw the West Indies restricted to 132 for 6 in their allotted 20 overs. Johnson Schultz and Dwayne Bravo top scored with 30 and 29 respectively. Kiran Pollard remained unbeaten on 28. Nuwan Kulasekara, who was replacing the injured Kumar Sangakkara, ended up with figures of 2 for 35. Chasing 133 for victory, Sri Lanka reached their target in 15.4 overs with 9 wickets to spare. Captain Mahela Jayawardene and T.M. Dilshan both scored half-centuries.
The 2020 captains of Australia, New Zealand and Bangladesh spoke to the media in Colombo today.
It's the one trophy that we don't have in our cabinet, so that's something that we were aware of and certainly looking to rectify. And it's a bit of a process. I think there was a period there where Australia didn't really take T20 as seriously as they could, but I certainly think that's changed. But it doesn't change overnight. It takes a bit of time to catch up, I guess.
It's been a tough couple of months in West Indies and India, but hopefully we've turned the corner with the first win in India for a long time. But we've got a tough pool in Pakistan and Bangladesh, and we don't want to look too far ahead than those two matches.
Particular day, if you play three departments very well, then you can beat anyone. So it's really, I think, and also it's very important to play consistent cricket in T20 format. So hopefully, building up to our important two matches, I think we have two warm-up matches against Zimbabwe and Ireland. Hopefully we'll do well there and grab some momentum from there.
And finally on Sports First tonight, the residents of an apartment complex in Dematogoda, which the ICC had chosen to issue official accreditation for the upcoming ICC World 2020 Championship, have voiced their protest, claiming that they were being highly inconvenienced by the process. Now the residents lodged an official complaint at the Dematogoda police regarding the issue.
The ICC commenced issuing official passes and accreditation for the upcoming 2020 World Cup on the 6th of September from a second-floor apartment in Dematogoda. However, several residents of the apartment complex are said to have been extremely inconvenienced by this and have lodged a complaint with the police. As a result, officials, reporters and players who arrived to obtain their accreditation were not permitted inside the apartment complex today.
SSC official lodged a complaint at the Dematogoda police. All officials who arrived at the Dematogoda apartment complex have been denied access to the office, which was on the second floor, by the security. As this is an issue that comes under the Condominium Property Act, we have arranged for both parties to meet at the National Housing Development Authority tomorrow.
During the 2011 Cricket World Cup, the ICC distributed the official accreditation at the relevant ground. Our attempts to contact World Cup director Upeka Neil and media director Shane Fernando over the phone proved to be futile.
And that was a look at our primetime news today. Thank you for joining us. If you missed out on any of our stories, do log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk.
Now remember, you can also follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and you can also download the News First app from the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. For Primetime News, I'm Nadim Majid.
And I'm Punchani Edrisinghe.
Good night.